So this is the corner of Shivnarine Chandrapal Drive and Charlotte Street. That is Tacuba Lodge, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. That's Charlotte Street looking west towards downtown. And that's Shivnarine Chandrapal Drive, which used to be called New Garden Street, looking north towards Queenstown. And the Ministry of Agriculture at the corner. And this is the Ministry of the Presidency. So what's new is this major reinforced concrete wall going up around the Ministry of the Presidency. That was not here a month ago, and that is new.
Oh, this is my day. I'm ready to take it on, come what may.
I think it's becoming a lot more like the US Embassy, using large reinforced walls to deal with, I guess, the new threats that are posed by terrorism and so on. So Guyana is becoming ready. So this is Tacuba Lodge, and there's obviously some major construction planned for this lot north of Tacuba Lodge, probably also part of the government's Ministry of the Presidency expansion. These buildings on Charlotte Street, we're heading west on Charlotte Street, and these buildings have all got some relationship to the government. The blue building on the right is a National Frequency Management Unit, and so on. So this is Charlotte Street. This is the National Baha'i Center on Charlotte Street. National Baha'i Center. And some more private residences on Charlotte Street. Private residences. So what you'd notice is that most of the private residences have either been replaced or are being upgraded. This is one that's still in its original colonial architecture, but the one next door, the house next door, has been renovated. And okay, there's another building that is still in its colonial format, and so on. So Charlotte Street is one of those streets that is becoming highly commercial, but it's only one block away from Regent Street, and that probably explains why its location is ideal for business. This is NDS Superstore, furniture and household furnishing store, and this is Charlotte Street at the intersection with Orinoco Street. That's Orinoco Street, looking north towards Queenstown, and this is Orinoco Street looking south towards South Road, and this is Jialing. It's a motorcycle store owned and run and operated by Chinese nationals in Guyana, so it's a Chinese motorcycle store, Jialing. And here, an empty lot that will probably soon be occupied with commercial buildings. Here is a Buccaneer guest house on Charlotte Street, and the building across the street is a private school, Riyadh Business Institute, on Crowell Street, on Charlotte Street. These are private homes on Charlotte Street. Other private homes on Charlotte Street. So Charlotte Street at one time used to be strictly residential, but as you can see, it's now mixed use. So what is new is that you have increasing presence of commercial property on Charlotte Street. Some of the old architecture still exists. This house is probably been abandoned, but will soon be possessed and refurbished and redirected. This is the ministries of our daily bread, redirected towards commercial use, and new renovated housing on Charlotte Street. Here this looks like a building for sale. So afternoon. So these are commercial and residential properties mixed in together on Charlotte Street, and we're approaching the intersection with Albert Street. So this is Albert Street, and we've actually seen Albert Street in previous videos. So this is Albert Street looking north towards Albert Town, and that's Albert Street looking south towards South Road, and that's looking back where we came on Charlotte Street. So Charlotte Street in this section is residential, but you can see an increasing presence of commercial buildings. This is a building that's up for rental, but increasingly the residential property is being replaced by commercial property, and that which is still unrenovated residential property such as this, you can expect very soon to be purchased and converted to commercial property. So here are a pair of residential buildings still in the original format, but this is a new building, a commercial building that is run by, in fact, a pair of commercial buildings run by logistics companies, but residential buildings are still mixed in between. So Charlotte Street is fast becoming a commercial street, part of the commercial district, which is a major change. Afternoon. Major change from what it used to be years ago. And this in fact is expected because of its proximity to Regent Street. It's just one block away from Regent Street, where most of the business still happens in Georgetown. Here is another church being constructed, a Hindi college, Ralph's Real Estate Property Management, Dialogic, and this is RK, it used to be the RK Security Building. So we're approaching the intersection with Light Street, Charlotte Street and Light Street at this point. That is Light Street looking south towards South Road, and we've actually seen Light Street before. That's Light Street looking north towards Albert Town, and that's looking back at Charlotte Street from where we came. So there's still commercial and residential property combined on Charlotte Street. For those who know Charlotte Street from 20 or 30 years ago would know that it was mostly a residential neighborhood, and while there's still residences, it's fast becoming commercialized. Good afternoon. This is Wesleyan, that is Charlotte Street Wesleyan Church. This church has been in this location for decades, well into the 20th century, and so this location has been known to have a church, afternoon, and residential property around and next door. So these are still residences. And here's a private school, Caribbean First Class Elementary, and another tall renovated building, most likely being put to commercial use. So what's happening is that Charlotte Street is becoming more and more of a commercial property in this section of the city. And that is, the evidence of it is the new buildings going up. This one is still under construction, still unoccupied, and most likely going to be commercial or mixed use buildings. So that's what's happening on Charlotte Street. Again, commercial and residential property being mixed in. Like I said, 1 block away is Regent Street, so that's Cumming Street looking north. This building has been here for a long time. It used to be a shop, and that's looking back at Charlotte Street whence we came. And this is Cumming Street looking south towards South Road. So Charlotte Street, one of the oldest residential streets in Georgetown, is not immune to being converted to commercial use, and because of its location, its proximity to Regent Street, it is in fact prime location for commercial use because of the foot traffic nearby. So this is what is happening on Charlotte Street. So Charlotte Street comes to an end. This is the western half of Charlotte Street. Comes to an end at Lime Street. And Lime Street is a street that runs beside the Bourda market, and it's parallel with Cumming Street. So this is Charlotte Street looking back at Charlotte Street, and this is Lime Street. So what's happening on Lime Street is it's becoming a commercial street. So that's Lime Street looking south, Charlotte Street looking west, that's Lime Street looking north. So Lime Street is now fully commercial. There you go. So this is a Sunday afternoon on Lime Street. So this is commercial property on Lime Street. The building at the corner of Lime Street and Regent Street is the new Bounty supermarket. And like I said, Lime Street runs beside the Bourda market. So that's the Bourda market. Across the street. That's Bourda market on a Sunday afternoon at the corner of Lime Street or Orange Walk. The corner of Orange Walk and Regent Street. This is the Bounty supermarket, a new Bounty supermarket, and that's Orange Walk. So Bourda market on a Sunday afternoon is in fact deserted because it's closed. We will do a tour inside Bourda Market eventually. This is the Bourda Post Office. Bourda Post Office on Regent Street on a Sunday afternoon. And that's Bourda Market.